how do you respond to people who say, well, I don't really want this in my backyard?
Well, nuclear, you know, this after heat problem that when you shut a reactor down, it still has heat. That's why Chernobyl was a problem and Fukushima. Our design, that it goes away because since we use this sodium to cool everything, it can absorb all that heat.
This is the natrium.
Right. And so those accidents were both first and second generation reactors. The third generation reactors dealt with that with a lot of complexity. So those reactors are quite safe, but the cost overruns meant that the electricity will be very, very expensive. We solved the safety problem with a much simpler approach, but we had to start from scratch.
For people at home to understand, your reactor and most advanced reactors require this new high assay, low enriched uranium. So that supply is really very much owned by Russia. How does America get that fuel without putting money in the pocket of Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, so the US Congress recently passed a bill that we supported that says none of the fuel will come out of Russia, and so the US won't be a customer of that any longer.
But that's not immediate, right?
That's right, but the money in the bill will get the supply base going in the United States. We also have a supplier in the UK, we've got a supplier in South Africa, and so we can go to the free world and meet our fuel requirements. The reason we had to delay our schedule from 2028 to 2030 was because of this fuel problem, and we didn't anticipate a war in Ukraine that changed that completely. And so now building up the alternate plan with the federal government helping us figure that out, that's now completely in place.
So how long before the U.S. can rely on its own fuel for these nuclear reactors? Can America become completely energy independent if it's actually switching to nuclear?
Yeah, so the U.S. is very lucky that between the U.S. and Canada, there's quite a bit of uranium. Even in Wyoming, and specifically, there are good uranium mines there.
But you have to mine for it, and
Well,
there are environmental concerns around that.
And you have to have the manufacturers, and that's the congressional $2.8 billion that they just passed is to get a North America supply chain going. And it was great that the Congress took care of that problem because they're the ones who said, we don't want you to buy fuel from Russia.
And as an environmentalist, you don't have concerns about this kind of mining within the United States?
Well, all mining, is subject to, in the case of the U.S., a lot of environmental review to make sure that, as you're pulling stuff out, as the tailings, or where are you putting those and how do those get used? So, I feel very comfortable that the U.S. is going to make sure that there's no environmental concerns about U.S. and Canadian mining.